Hey, everybody, good morning. I spent the last, what time did I get home? We got home at like 10?
Yeah, 10-ish. Yeah,
That's
10-ish.
8. I spent the last 8 hours deciding how sheepish I should feel about feeling that good about a game in March. It's a March hockey game, and was it the greatest sporting event I've ever been to? It's up there.
I was going to say, it might be in the conversation.
It's not a long list. Man.
I was comparing it to Game 1 of the World Series last night. Like, that might have been better, as good.
I liked somebody on Twitter. Somebody made the comparison of the Bills' perfect game against New England. I kind of like that one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a playoff game. I like the Ottawa fight game. It was just...
It wasn't a playoff game, but it felt like a playoff game.
Better.
I know it wasn't.
It felt better than some playoff games I've been to. I mean, it's been a long time since we've been to some playoff games. Oh, man. Jeremy and Joe, good morning. Owen's here. Alt Joe's here. Guys, I feel like we should just go quad box and talk about our lasting memories of last night, because we were all there together, which is magical in itself. 2-3 months ago, we got these tickets from work. We must have won some sort of karma lottery, and I got
just sitting on these tickets for months.
I got 4 tickets, so I text you guys like, "Oh, perfect. How about the Tampa game? Sounds good. That'll be a Sunday. That'll be fun.
Sunday game in March.
Right. Never mind.
March.
It's going to change your life."
Yeah. I mean, that was insane. Well, this was shaping up to be great, for a couple of weeks now, and then it all comes to a head, and that. There's no words to describe what that was last night. I mean, for people like me and Joe Cali over here, like, we've never seen that and felt that.
Yeah.
Not with real brains that could understand what was happening. And it was unbelievable.
Do you have one now? Debatable.
Yeah.
Debatable.
Right.
Yeah, jury's
Still
out.
mush from last
We'll
night.
figure it out. I mean, but man, what a night.
Yeah, it just in that atmosphere. I thought the Vegas atmosphere when we were there for Jack Eichel's return, the Olympic, all of that stuff, I thought that was unbelievable. Sitting down there while 7 fights occur at different moments throughout the game, it was just unbelievable. And like Owen said, I've never experienced anything like that inside a KeyBank Center. I really haven't. It's unbelievable.
I really think the atmosphere last night, like the crowd was insane, and it made me realize. Like the Tuesday game against Vegas last week, or any of the other times Eichel returned and they played Vegas, or any of these other games in the last 5 years, 3 years, when the atmosphere has been really good, and we're like, oh, you know what? The crowd was back tonight. The fans were back. No. We forgot what a 10 looked like for your atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because that was what last night was, and that has not happened, that crowd last night, in 15 years.
That's hard,
and maybe more than that.
It's hard to get an atmosphere like that.
You need everything coming together.
That's a generational game. Most teams don't have a game that happens like that in a season. You just don't have it. Like, you don't have the stakes. You don't have the investment. You don't have the score.
You don't have the drought.
You don't have the back and forth. You don't have the drought. You don't have this new budding rivalry. There was a "We hate Tampa" chant.
Yes,
Or,
there was.
organically. We hate Tampa. I mean, everything about the night was incredible. And they're by the way, are in first place.
In first
The
place.
thing about this game is, like, it finished 8-7 for their 7th consecutive win to go into first place. And I feel like that's the 8th thing I think about when thinking about all the things that happened last night. Like, oh yeah, and by the way, they're in first place in the Atlantic. And now Tampa's got to win.
Well,
they have to win their games in hand. They have 3 more regulation wins than the Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just so much to get to.
Well, I even did look up strength of schedule last night. Tampa's is harder the rest of the way. There was a buzz in the building, though, before the game even started. Like, there was anticipation. People knew, like, you're right, like this morning, the game being for first place ends up being like a footnote. But people knew going into the game that this game was for first place. And then it lived up to it within 5 minutes of the hockey game.
Yep.
It became about something more than just for first place within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was more of, oh no, this is more about we've arrived and you're going to have to deal with us.
Yeah, didn't it feel like it was a decision that they made that, like, you know what? we're here now, and we know you can almost know that Tampa's going to come at you like that in a game like that in that spot where you know that that's a pro team that wants to do something like that and wants to beat you up and go, listen, we're still king. And I would bet my life that Lindy went in that room before that and said, let's show them that we're here. That we are.
Well, they certainly answered the bell when challenged for that. I would also say, though, Tampa came into that game looking for all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon Hagel was on a mission. He's on the Tage hit from behind when he doesn't have the puck 5 minutes into the game.
Right.
The Dahlin play, he's hitting Krebs from behind while he's on the ice. Like, that dude came in with a mission to start a lot of that type of stuff last night.
Well, these two teams played twice already this year in Tampa, and the games were also very good. I mean, this was the first game here, right?
Yeah, they hadn't played here yet.
They hadn't played here. And matchup for first place at home, you mentioned like the crowd before the game. It's my new working theory, which is while it may be considered disrespectful to be hooting and hollering during the anthem, my new working theory is that more hoots and hollers during the anthems, the more tilted the game is going to be. Because that's happened a couple times this year. And the anthem was people trying to get the person off the ice to get things going. Like, we've got a game to play here.
Right.
It was incredible. It was electric.
Me and Owen missed the national anthem because we were waiting in line for the 2-foot nachos. Seemed like a good move last night. We decided, this line's not moving long enough. We made a plan, like, let's wait for, like, the first TV timeout. Everyone will be gone by then. No one's going to jump in. We'll come out there. I am so grateful we did not have a boat of 2 feet of nachos in our laps.
The poor
as
people
all of that was happening in the first period.
Would have been people ahead of us.
It would have been on the
Oh,
ground.
we would have dumped them.
Underwater.
At some point, I think I'm going to throw these out. We need to be able to jump up in the air at a moment's notice.
Owen and I we did walk past the Tage Parm, and it was full in there, and we were thinking about it. We were like, could that have happened?
That would have been
It wasn't a good night for 2-foot boats.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Well, we'll take your calls on it. 803-0550. The Sabres are in first place, and Paul joins us at 7, Sal at 8. Sal was at the game. So, listen, it's the start of free agency, legal tampering in the NFL a little bit later today. But NFL news is going to start coming, so maybe we get some with Sal. The caliber of signing it's going to take the Bills or something like that to get us off of just – I don't know if for 4 hours we can just say, like, man, that was awesome last night. But it feels like that's what we probably should do.
I was texting with Matt Beauvais last night, and we were talking about that, and I'm like, I'm actually so grateful they did not make the Max Crosby trade over the weekend.
Right.
Not even just because I think that actually was too much, but if there was a Max Crosby trade mixed into all of that, like, just clear the morning for what that game was last night. Yeah, what would they have to do? I don't think there is something.
I don't know. It was deafening leaving the arena. So another example, like in terms of atmospheres.
Oh, the atrium?
Yeah. The Vegas game was, again, a great game and a great crowd and a great moment. On the way out, the Sabres had survived the game. And I'd said coming in the next day, guys, like, it wasn't like you were hooting and hollering in the atrium. It wasn't like I heard all that many Let's Go Buffalo horn honks. And then there's last night when we're pulling out, rolling down the windows, high-fiving strangers out of the car. It was different. It was, what we're going to call it, the 8-7 Tampa game. It's 8-7.
We might need a nickname for the game.
I was ready to come in today after they lost that game 7-5 and say it was still pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Because it was awesome after the first period. I went and met my father-in-law after the first period of the intermission, and every person's reaction after 20 minutes was, this is the best game of the year. It was 1-0. There were 14 more goals. What?
Right.
It was.
Right. Best period of hockey was definitely uttered like in 20 years.
Yes.
When it was 1-0.
Yeah. Incredible.
And then you got 7 goals in each of the second and the third periods.
You had incredible fights. You had the Zucker breakaway, the Tuck breakaway. You had 2 goals where you had long enough buildup for everyone to stand up before the goal actually happens. You had the fans standing for the last, minute and a half, 2 minutes. You had the Sabres so relentless and dogged on the puck that Tampa could not pull their goalie. Like, it took them a long time to get the goalie out of the net.
Yeah.
So, it's just, man, what do? You had the new Sabres tradition, which is roll out the worst power play you've ever seen to lull the other team into a false sense of security so you can then siege and score on the power play. What, they get 4 power play goals
They
last
had
night?
4 for 7.
4 for 7. All right.
Yeah.
After what was the worst 5-on-3 you've ever seen?
They got 1 scoring chance on a 2-minute
5-on-3.
5-on-3. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, 803-0550, our phone number. They're in first.
They're in first.
Real,
I
honest
mean,
first.
It's a division race now. There is no playoff race, right? Like, I'm not even thinking about I'm thinking about Tampa. I looked up this morning, not who does Detroit play, who does Montreal play, who does Columbus play, no, who does Tampa play this week? That's what I was looking up this morning. Now, not even watching these other teams yet, or right now.
I'm thinking about
how could you after last night and the place that they're in the standings?
I'm thinking about a rivalry that rivals Carolina or Ottawa. Like, if they were to play in the playoffs this year, are we going to just – Tampa has been in the division for how long? Is it 2 decades now? It's a long time.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. Well, no, it was since the format changed.
Okay.
So it's been basically the amount of time the droughts existed.
Gotcha.
So
like 15 years pretty much?
Yeah.
And I've never really hated them. They just kind of have been there. And the next, 4 years, just is that going to be us just hating Tampa?
I mean, I did think last night, I think the Lightning might miss the Panthers a little bit being good. They will not see them come playoff time, and they replace the Panthers with the Sabres for everything. Yeah. Those two teams have been doing last night, maybe not with the goals, but with the fights and all that. They've been doing that for 4 years. Ever since Tkachuk got there. Mm-hmm. They had a preseason game earlier this season where they had 400 penalty minutes in it. And then multiple regular season games like that. The Lightning are used to games like that, which is why it's even more impressive the Sabres are not. They've not played a game like that. That team has not played in a game like that, and they definitely answered the bell.
I also had the thought, does that kind of game and this kind of now upped intensity change the Sabres, off-season? Are other players that are, we got to make sure we have someone that does this and someone Logan Stanley's not in the lineup. Is he a guy that's dressed for that game next time? And I'm not saying John Scott level guys, but hey, we play at a new level now. What's Colton Parayko thinking watching that game, right? That might have been cool.
You might be thinking if they give me another run at it in the off season, I'd probably say yes this time. He could very easily say that. I mean, anybody. Robert Thomas could say that. It could be like when Diggs said at the trade deadline in 2019 to the Bills, I don't think so. And then they circled back around the next offseason. I watched through the rest of the year and I'm in.
Yeah, right.
That could be Parayko. That could be anybody watching. I mean, they were the talk of the league last night. Every national guy I saw, anybody, any podcast guy, any ESPN guy, guy from Canada, everyone was flipping that game on in the first period after realizing what was happening. Everyone, that was the talk of the league last night was that game. And everyone was saying game of the year.
Yeah.
For us, it was game of the decade. But for everybody else that watches the sport night to night, that was the best hockey game in the NHL this year.
Paul at 7, Sal at 8, Dan Dunleavy at 9 o'clock. Driving home listening to Dan's calls. I text him we got to have Dan on. Talk about what that experience was. Rob in Connecticut leads us off this morning. Give us a ring if you were there, if you watched, if you are connecting with your children over this, because, there's been a generation waiting to do that. Rob, good morning.
Jeremy, Joe, Owen, and Alt Joe, I thought about you guys last night. First off, who wore shorts?
Joe wore shorts.
I committed. I followed
Sneaky
through.
Joe,
I wore shorts.
He wore shorts, and he tried to wear a little bit higher socks because
that helped a little bit.
It was a little chilly out there.
It was a little windy downtown last night.
It was windy.
It was 60 here in Connecticut. It was beautiful yesterday. Let me tell you guys. I'm 61. I've told you guys this before. I've witnessed a lot of hockey in my lifetime, but this had everything. It's old-time hockey. It was epic. It was setting tones. It was just unbelievable just listening to this game. And like I said to Joe when I was talking to him before, I said, I'm a grateful person in my life. Yes, I'm blind. But this was one of those games where I had to see it. And just like I'm surprised Razor didn't jump out on the ice. He must have been salivating at the mouth. Logan Stanley was actually talking during the game, and he's going, I'm glad I'm here. I can't wait to get out on the ice with these boys. You know, it was awesome, and I'm glad you guys had such a great time last night. I'm glad Buffalo is experiencing this. This is something we needed after that Buffalo Bills loss in Denver. Let's keep pushing forward, man. I mean, set the tone and just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, that slap shot, I was thinking about slap shot. I was like, this is great. This was old-time hockey at its best. Let's go Sabres.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah. Welcome to the team, Sam Carrick.
Yeah.
Fight and a goal.
Credit to him, too, because he was a middleweight fighting a heavyweight there. Like, Sabrin is the guy they call up a couple times a year for the games they think there are going to be fights in. Like, he's their Mason Geertsen.
Yeah.
And for Carrick to stand in there with him and then score a goal in the third period that was
really important.
I mean, emotionally it felt important. The Lightning had scored 5 goals in a row. By the way, I probably will look this up. How often does a team win in the NHL when they've given up 5 goals in a row in the game? That cannot happen often. So, yeah, Carrick was good. I mean, everybody. Did you see his video, like, giving the belt out in the locker room after the game?
I did.
Which was funny. Like, I don't know what just happened. Like, he even said, like, I could give this to anybody right now.
Yeah. Gave it to Darlene.
Yeah.
Darlene was great. I'll tell you one thing I liked, and we'll get to this. Maybe we'll just do this now. Like, Lindy Ruff talking about Luukkonen in the game and how he did not pull him out because he was in the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Man, did I ever like that answer. A lot. I really liked the answer because the whole time we know, man, both these goalies are having a tough night.
Mm-hmm.
But that means it's not over. And for Luukkonen, you know, we were talking about it in the car on the way home after we heard Lindy say that. He's in the battle. Well, I don't have to make it about the goaltender. I thought, man, that's so right. Also, you know, maybe when would you have pulled him because it's already 7 given up and there's only 10 minutes left. But
yeah, the middle of the third period, really, like,
yep.
I mean, I guess it was 4-4 going into the third.
Yeah.
We're going to do it there?
No, and I feel
so,
like
maybe when Kucherov scores a minute in, but even then, like 5,
sure.
I'm still thinking, I'm not thinking about it.
Yep.
I mean, I was thinking he wasn't having a good night.
No, for sure. I mean,
rebounds he gave up.
People have decided, many have decided that Alex Lyon is starting game 1 of the playoffs. But whatever, like he was in the battle is what Lindy said, and I just feel like, you know, you've got a team that lifted up the goalie. And right when the final horn goes, you know, there's the fight. There's another fight, which you can't see because the crowd is standing up. We were part of that crowd standing up, but you can't see the fight.
We were on that side, so we couldn't
see
anything.
And then when they finally split them, I could see Luukkonen, you know, his mask comes off and the hugs begin. And I feel like I could see Luukkonen say to whoever the first skater was, be like, oh, you guys really helped me out there because he had a rough night. But, I mean, should I check goals saved below expected for both goalies?
I haven't even looked.
Are the fancy stats going to tell me this game was supposed to be 2-1?
I haven't looked at a single fancy
stat.
But yeah,
who cares?
No, I mean there were chances. I mean, I was thinking about that matchup last night, like what this game would look like in the playoffs. I thought about a couple of times that I thought about Tampa and the 06 Flyers.
Yeah,
I'm thinking their defensemen are so slow. When the Sabres are making their defensemen look so slow. And you really look at their depth chart and, like, Cernak, who didn't come back after he fought Kesselring in the second period, but Cernak is this, and Radish, and Hedman at this point, McDonough, who's 36. Like, they've got a slow blue line. And they're physical, but, man, the Tuck goal and the Zucker goal are both this. Like, they just cruise past those defensemen.
The Sabres, every time I watch them play, especially when I go to games, you know, we talk about their superpower often being the top 4 and how they activate. The other superpower is the team is just flat out fast all over the lineup.
Yeah.
The whole team is fast.
And that's why I think of the 06 Flyers. That was the story there. Like, Sabres and Flyers matched up in the first round, and Hatcher and all those guys, like, Philly could not match the Sabres' speed with their blue line, and I felt like Tampa was a little bit of that last night.
Yeah. Will in Hamburg. Will, good morning.
Oh, my God, gentlemen. First of all, thank you very much, as always. You guys do great. I'm sitting here watching that game last night. My 17-year-old son, who clearly has no idea what Sabres playoffs are, tears in my eyes watching our captain, our gosh darn captain who's been through a heck of a lot this year in his life, high-fiving these other guys. training their way into the freaking penalty box, smiling, laughing. This is possibly the best thing that has happened to this Sabres organization in 20 years.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The fights. The fact, like you said, if they would have lost that game 7-5, heck of a game. Wish we could have gotten the points. Several times I said, that team's done. I said, it's got to be over. Nope. No quitting them. Nothing but fight. Bringing the team together was unbelievable to see. I am so happy and proud of this damn team right now.
Thanks, Will. Thanks.
Darlene was incredible.
He was.
I mean,
I was worried about him a couple times. Like, first off, he got ragdolled from behind, and we're going to hopefully see a suspension for that. He got in a fight. I mean, man, it was.
He scored. We mentioned the Carrick goal. He scores to make it 7-6, and he walks down from the blue line. I mean, it's pretty close to a highlight reel goal. And at that moment, I mean, that's I wonder what, I don't know if the players got asked this in the locker room, like what that goal specifically did for the bench, because you're down to there's less than 10 minutes to go in the game. Like, the crowd is still into it, and maybe that would have kept you in it no matter what. But your captain walking down from the blue line and scoring to make it a one-goal game with that much time left, I'm sure did a lot for them. I did look, by the way. You want to know what the goals saved above expected were last night for the two goalies?
Sure.
They were pretty much the same. Johansson allowed 3 more than he should have, and Luukkonen allowed 2.7 more.
All right.
So they both had rough nights.
Sign me up.
The Sabres outshot them 42-28. Like, plus that number, like, they outplayed the Lightning.
They were up.
I mean, they did have so many power
They
plays.
had a lot of power plays.
But even 5-on-5, it was pretty close.
They're up 3-0 on the scoreboard, and Tampa had 6 shots at the time. Might have been 4-1, and Tampa had 8 shots.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of power play time. 803-0550. If you're on hold, we will get to you. We will blast through phone calls and talk about, the game, the thing that happened last night. Absolutely incredible. The atmosphere, the goals, the game, the fights, the buy-in. This is what happens when it all happens. Jeremy and Joe, give us a ring, please. We've got nothing but time to talk about what was an absolutely unforgettable night at KeyBank Center. Sabres 8, Lightning 7, first in the Atlantic.